able to tell me out on air. I talked to other podcasters after saying that was kind of cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Way to network.
Talked to him briefly. I don't listen to his podcast, so I felt a little bad that.
It's better.
Yeah.
It works pretty well with the Saints Row 4 theme, actually.
That's true. Okay, let me just post this stuff up here.
No, the dog face of the cat face better.
Yeah, I think the cat works.
Works is an interesting word for that. You're a little terrifying. All right, everyone has their Audacity ready to record?
Ready to go.
Yes.
All right, on go, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we're going.
All right, look at that. We are live and we are recording, so I guess we're going to do this.
Hey, do we have like live YouTube comments?
I don't think so, but would you really want live YouTube comments? Think about that.
No.
Think about who's watching.
Yeah, the absolute worst of the internet. By the way, if you're watching, thanks for watching.
Good to see you.
Okay, so I will do an intro now, ostensibly. Okay. Hello and welcome to Cat Context, episode 33 for Wednesday. I forgot to look at the calendar before I did this. 28th of August, 2013. We are going to talk today about the WildStar payment model announcement. We are going to talk about Final Fantasy XIV and a little bit from the Oakland Magic tournament that Elly was at this past weekend. So speaking of which, Ellyndrial is back with us again. Hey Elly, how's it going?
Hi. It's going pretty well. I burned myself out. Well, I would say I burned myself out on Magic yesterday and Friday. But then I was watching coverage today, so I guess not.
So not entirely.
Not entirely.
Well, that's good. Well, also with us today as our special guest for this episode is Mangle. Hey, Mangle, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's awesome.
Anytime.
You been playing any games this weekend?
This weekend, I have been playing Saints Row 4, and then after that, my usual double header, which is World of Warcraft and EVE Online.
You put them together at the same time?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can multi-box them, but I choose not to.
You could.
Good to know that you could.
That was a lot of what I enjoyed with EVE, was kind of, it works well with other things.
Yeah, very well.
I got the impression that you liked playing EVE because you didn't have to play EVE.
Well, you know, you could sort of do it and watch movies at the same time, which at certain points of my life is an important characteristic in a game.
That's right.
Even missions where like you're going out and your mission is to go out and destroy a whole bunch of pirates or something like that. If you play a drone ship like I do, you basically just drive your ship out there, you put your drones on autopilot and walk away and come back 20 minutes later and the pirates are dead and you go complete your mission. It's a great game for that kind of thing.
It's a great game for AFKing. Yeah,
there's this other game called Progress Quest that's also pretty good for that.
Oh, I think I know that one. Yeah, that's a joke game. So let's kick it off with the WildStar payment model. They've been kind of hinting at it for a while. They finally announced it in the last week. They've been saying hybrid model, and lo and behold, it sort of is a hybrid model. I mean, I guess everything's a hybrid model. I don't know. So what they're doing is there will be a subscription, $15 a month. There will also be a box that you have to buy, which will be $60 a month, and there will be
just one time. That's just one time.
Right, one-time box and a subscription, and they'll have a cash shop, and they're doing something called Cred, which lots of people are already calling Crud, which I feel like they should have focus grouped that. So it's a lot like Plex in EVE or Rex in Rift, in which you can use in-game currency to buy I want to call it Crud. See, look, I'm already doing it.
No, you know what you should call it? Crux.
Oh, yeah, to buy a Crud, yeah. Buy one of those things, and or you can buy one of those directly for $20, and you can apply that to all kinds of stuff. So, Elly, let's start with you. What's your first impression of the payment model?
I like it. I don't know much about the whole additional cash shop. They haven't really talked about it, or maybe they have, and I just haven't read about it in the last couple of days.
Yeah, they haven't said a lot.
Yeah, so hopefully it's not a shitty cash shop, and I don't know. I feel like we owe people an apology. Not that we are the people that caused this to happen.
You guys do. You do.
We're movers and shakers.
The part that we sort of advocated, and I think a lot of people did, for cosmetic items and all of that, just living in cash shops. And as it has gone that way, I'm very sad because now I want cosmetic items, but I don't want to pay for the cash shop, and everything is in the cash shop. And I think that kind of sucks the life and enjoyment out of games to some extent. Because one of the things I really like is customizing my characters. I mean, I paid ridiculous amounts of in-game money for dyes and rift that I didn't have to spend on that. And I've avoided the cash shop, but that's one of the main draws of Rift to me was the customization aspects. So as soon as those sort of all move to the cash shop, then it's a lot less fun. For WildStar in particular, I really like the concept of subscription. I think the Elder Scrolls Online is also doing a subscription, and there's been a bit of internet blowback against them. But to those people, I say shut up and figure it out. I paid way more than $15 a month while I was a poor college kid for video games.
Between Final Fantasy, WildStar, and Elder Scrolls, it's actually been a good week for subscription games. They're back.
Yep.
Who knew?
Yeah, let's hope they do better than some of the last few that have happened.
Yeah. How about you, Mangle? How do you feel about the WildStar payment model now that they've announced it?
Yeah, I'm in favor. I play a bit of EVE, and I like this idea of having the cred that you can buy with in-game currency. I mean, I'm a little bit up and down on it, but I think if there are people out there who really have the argument that they just can't afford to come up with the $20 a month or whatever it is for the subscription, or just don't want to financially commit to it, then that's great. I think I find it a little bit weird because certainly if it follows the pattern of EVE, earning Plex with in-game credits when you're a newbie at EVE is just not even remotely a thing that you can think about doing, right? Like it's something that once you're in the end game and you're a member of a big corporation, then maybe you can think about coming up with 500 million ISK a month to purchase your Plex. But if the idea of free-to-play was to make a game more accessible to people, then cred is not doing it, right? Because it's not targeted at newbies, it's targeted at people who have been playing the game for a long time and somehow have built up the ability to generate large amounts of in-game currency. So I don't know, it's a bit weird. I'm totally with Elly on the cash shop and putting cosmetic items into the cash shop. I think that will be a very sad day if it keeps on going that direction. So I don't know. There's got to be a happy medium where, like in WoW, as you were going up through the tiers and your shoulders were getting bigger and bigger, like that was cool because you had to have some way of showing how badass you were by how big your shoulders were. So there needs to be a balance between still allowing that type of stuff and finding sensible ways to put things into a cash shop as well. So whether it's more just your wear around town kind of clothes that go into the cash shop, I don't know. Well, so I guess we've got to wait and see how WildStar handle that. It's kind of, EVE do the same thing because with Plex in EVE, you can exchange them for, I think it's called Aurum, which is another virtual currency that they have, and you can use the Aurum to recustomize your character or transfer characters between servers and that kind of thing, or between accounts, I mean. So I wonder if they're going to do something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I've been obviously in favor of subscriptions for a while, but the thing that I get hung up with this is the $60 box price.
Yeah.
Which, to
Really?
me, that's a lot. Yeah, they said it was
Yeah.
going to be 60.
No, yeah, I know they said it was going to be 60, but
Yeah, no, that's a lot of. I mean, I just bought in the last week because I have no self-control Final Fantasy XIV and Saints Row 4, and Saints Row 4 was 40, Final Fantasy was 20, and that included a free month.
Yeah.
So 60, that is a significant amount of money for a new game.
Yeah.
$60 is a console game. It is the
Yeah.
price that I am used to paying for console games, unless I'm doing the Amazon pay it forward thing where, they give me $10 credit every time, so really I'm just paying $60, but it looks like $50.
Right.
Because, the $60 goes in every time, and the $10 credit, helps one time, but not every time, even though it looks like it helps every time.
Right.
I don't know, I'm very used to paying $60. I don't mind paying $60 for all of the initial development work that goes into it on big titles. That said, I haven't necessarily bought as many titles on release day as I have going back historically this last year or two. So, I mean, I guess it's a little bit daunting, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's sort of fair. I mean, like, when I'm looking at like a $20 game, I'm looking at indie titles, and I'm looking at, 6 to 8 hours of gameplay max sort of titles. Games that I expect to put 3,000 hours into, like an MMO, I don't really care about paying, maybe a total of $120 or whatever it is to play it for 4 months.
You know what gets me about this, though, is so I think the worst possible thing can be you have a game, it starts out subscription, and then halfway through they realize they're not getting the subscriber numbers that they needed, and so they kind of turns into this warped free-to-play thing halfway through, a la Star Wars, the Old Republic.
Yes.
A la every other game recently. And, I mean, I don't want that to happen.
Is that a big Guinness that you just took a big swig out of?
No, this is Strongbow.
Oh, Strongbow, you got cider.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Like, I don't want that to happen, and I think putting a big $60 sticker price on the box is just asking for that to happen, isn't it? Because it's putting such a big barrier in front of people, not only the subscription, but also $60 up front to just to play this game. Seems like asking for low launch subscriber numbers, or at least putting a big wall up in front of a lot of people.
Maybe, but I think they're also appealing to a lot of people like us, I guess. People that are a little bit older, maybe, and rated in WoW or played WoW early on. They definitely have a throwback feel to their mechanics and stuff. So I think maybe they're not too worried about it because they sort of expect it to be, sort of core gamers who are used to spending money on games, blah, 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 whatever. Maybe they're sort of intentionally pricing out, I guess that's a way of saying it, maybe they're intentionally sort of trying to keep out the, younger, transient, free-to-play oriented crowds. And maybe they're, I say younger and transient, it may not all be that, and I understand that people can't always spend money. But I mean, having a bit of a barrier to entry also gets you more committed. If I say I spend $60 on this game and I get a month to play it, then I'm going to play it a lot that month.
Yeah.
As opposed to if I got this game for free but I have to pay $15 a month, it's a lot easier to play a couple hours and then walk away.
I mean, I think, Mangle, you bring up a good point with the everything converting to free-to-play. I think whether they intend this or not, there is the perception that, oh, sure, they're going to be subscription for like 6 months and then they're going to convert to free-to-play like everything else. And so that makes, and I really want to play WildStar, but that makes me feel even more hesitant about the initial outlay where I'm like, oh, they just like trying to, do a quick cash grab to make up their development money and then they're going to convert to free-to-play because that seems to be kind of the way things are going.
Right.
So I'm not going to be terribly pleased if that's the way they go.
Yeah, right.
I will completely agree with you on that. If that is the way that it goes, I mean, I felt, you know, I remain upset at Star Wars for pulling that over, and honestly, Rift too. I mean, Rift converting to free to play right after, but like shortly after selling people your subscriptions and stuff like that. It's just like it was not.
Yeah.
It was not endearing to me. It's a company that I consistently sort of shilled for on a lot of levels and backed in a lot of their decisions. It just was really frustrating to me. I guess I'm willing to be burned on this one because it looks kind of awesome.
Well, it does look kind of awesome. And $60 is, as you say, I mean, that's a very Blizzard-like price. I'm pretty sure Warcraft and StarCraft. So hopefully they've got the game to back it up if they're charging Blizzard-like prices. I mean, they do have Blizzard devs on there, so...
I mean, it's a very Blizzard-like price, but it's also a very Ubi price. It's a very EA price. It's a very...
Ooh, ouch.
No, I mean, it's a very generic video game price.
Yeah, AAA price. Yeah, it is.
And if they back it up with a AAA quality game, I'm not going to be disappointed for spending $60. I mean, the first month is free, so if I get 20 or 30 hours out of it, that's more than I get out of a lot of other AAA games that I spend $60 on. And then beyond that, I'm paying $15 a month basically for server costs for like we always talk about with subscriptions for constant development and stuff like that.
/ swimming pools full of money.
Yay.
That's right.
Elly, what was the last game that you paid like roughly $60 for?
That is not the question we should ask right now.
No, because I'm thinking, and I can't. I mean, maybe Mass Effect 3. I'm thinking was probably about that.
Yeah, I gotta look at my Amazon order history because I don't think I've spent anything on Steam. Can't remember the last thing I spent $60 on Steam for.
It's been a long time anyway since I bought a $60 game. Can you remember, Mangle, off the top of your head? What was the last?
I'm trying to think what Guild Wars 2 was at launch. I can't remember.
Wasn't that 60? I think that was 60.
I think that was a 60. Yeah, I think that was about that.
And that'd probably be the one for me. I think it was Guild Wars 2. Yeah.
And that was buy to play, so ostensibly, once you bought that,
well, except
play all you wanted.
Buy to play plus, please give us all of your money on the internet for extra bags and extra
character slots.
Yeah. Armor customization.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to totally agree with you both about the cosmetic stuff. I originally, years ago when they're talking about free to play, I'm like, oh yeah, just make it, don't make it pay to win, just put the cosmetic stuff. And now that I'm a casual player who likes the cosmetic stuff, I'm really irritated in Rift being my free to play game of choice that all the good stuff is cash shop only.
Yeah.
And it does feel like I really like the fluff, so it's kind of a bummer for us casual players that all the fluff is behind that.
You worked really hard to put together some awesome outfits just by collecting things from raid bosses or world events or that kind of thing. And then suddenly they change it so all the good stuff is in the cash shop, and the sense of satisfaction of having a cool outfit is not there anymore because everybody's walking around in their things that they bought for $4.99.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that was a lot of the fun that I got out of it, was doing that research and being like, okay, I got to do these events to get this hat, and it's very important. And now I don't have that anymore, which is unfortunate. That takes away a lot of my gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I have an answer for you. I looked it up. So the last game I spent 50-ish on in Steam was Remember Me in June. I spent $50 to buy that. I also bought Last of Us for PS3.
Yeah.
I bought Tomb Raider, although I think I got that on sale. And Gears of War Judgment, although I don't think I've even opened that box, so shh.
You have anyway.
And God of War, I got God of War in March, so I mean I consistently pay full retail price for probably on average a game every other month.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's legit.
And that said, I do fairly well at work, and I'm willing to spend my money on my video game, have it But I think most of us spend money on video game habits. So, and
Yes.
that skipped over a long list of games that were definitely not $6.
Right. Oh, well, that's okay. Well, that's more than I thought that you would answer, so you one-upped me with your answer.
I did have to look it up, though.
All right, well, that's something. So overall, let's start with Elly. The payment model hasn't affected how excited you are about WildStar?
Honestly, it's increased it. I was a little bit worried that I was going to be having to play a free-to-play game from up front, and I'm glad that I don't have to. I'm glad that I'm going to be playing with other people who are willing to put a subscription into it, because I feel like those people are going to be more dedicated to the game than otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like the $60 upfront is going to get people to stick around for more than a week or two, which has been a huge problem in a lot of the MMOs that and certainly our group has played. A lot of times I've been out of town when the momentum has rolled in for like Eve or something like that. I was just like a couple weeks behind, and then all of a sudden nobody was playing it again. And it's because it's $5 to get into. It's cheap to buy on GOG or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Guild Wars I didn't buy the first month, and then by the second month everybody was like, a lot of people had sort of backed off it.
Mm-hmm.
WildStar may well end up in the same place. Hopefully it won't, but if it does, then I'll just go find some other people to play with and screw you guys.
Fine. How about you, Mangle? Has it tempered your excitement for it?
Yeah, I think in general it's good. I'm quite happy that it's the subscription model. I think, at the end of the day, the two examples that you gave, they're really good examples. Eve and Guild Wars 2, where we had a bunch of guildies all jump into it, and then it just fizzled out. I think Eve, because the new player experience is just terrible, and they need to work on that.
But they're never going to change it. I think they pride themselves on the fact that the new players.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Because they're only the hardcore dedicated people stick it out, right? So.
Yeah, that's really true. And like their latest releases have been adding these tiny little radial menus to some of the menu options, and it's just like I still don't know what any of those buttons do. So I appreciate that it looks kind of funkier now, but
they're easier to get to now, but no less unclear.
No, yeah, not at all. And then Guild Wars 2, like opposite problem, I think. I really enjoyed the leveling experience there, but then there was like, I don't know what I do now. It just kind of, the game fizzled out and it didn't feel like there was any Elder game. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, yes, subscription model, I'm happy, I agree with everything Elly said, but people still won't stick around unless it's a good game and they like playing it.
Yeah,
I
think
sure.
At the end of the day, it's the quality of the game that matters and not the payment model, because I think we will all play something that's good, and it doesn't matter how we can play it.
Yeah.
We all played Terra, most of us. Well, Mangle, you did not, so you
don't have
that
did.
blight on you.
We all played
I forgot
Terra
okay, you're on team awful with us.
That's another one, right? Like, we all enjoyed that game, but like had no real investment in it.
Yeah.
It was free.
I miss Terra. If I need another MMO to take that combat, because the combat was awesome.
And so pretty. Oh, so pretty.
Yeah, super pretty. All right, well, speaking of super pretty Asian MMOs, it was Final Fantasy XIV Head Start was at 2 a.m. on Saturday, which apparently is also when I bought it, which was not a good plan. So they've been having so many problems. And of course, all MMOs have a problem with launch. And let's be honest, they're like, well, we don't launch till the 27th. It's launched. Anyone who's going to play the game has already bought it and is doing the early launch thing. Their servers have gone up and down. They've really throttled the number of people who can get on a server. So, for example, I wanted to join a server with some of our guildies and friends, and I had to spend 20 minutes hitting the reload button for it to be open for me to get my character on there.
Did you get in eventually?
I did eventually, yeah. I had to wait for one of the many crashes, and then once it came back up, I could get on.
That's
I
awesome.
think it's actually down right now. There are people whining and complaining and somewhat fairly, but somewhat in that excessive gamer way. But the little that I played, it's very, very, very pretty.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to be challenging. One of our guildies has gotten to quite a high level and says after level 15 it will kick your butt, which is great.
We always have that one guy.
The one guy who goes.
That one guy is like, way to ruin it for the rest of us who are just dicking around.
Riven, we're talking about you. So, but no, he says it's going to be. It gets quite challenging later. It's really pretty. The crafting is apparently quite good. I do not see myself necessarily sticking around past the first month, but like I said, $20. I will play for a month. Have either of you guys tried it?
Nope.
No, I'm really curious to hear reports once everything settles down, because any game like that comes along, I'd love for it to be the big like breakout hit that everybody starts playing. But I'm very hesitant about investing too much into it until I hear more about it.
I just have too many other games to care about a game that's a relaunch of a game from, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Especially when I guess that's not totally true. But I wasn't particularly excited about it then. For whatever reason, it didn't really strike me as the thing that I wanted to be playing. And I know they've changed a fair amount, but I think at its core, it's still Final Fantasy 14? 14, is that what number it is?
Yeah.
14.
So, I don't know. I have a huge backlog of games, and there's like a bunch of other random indie games. At this point, if I spend $20, I'm going to go buy Gone Home or Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Gone Home looks amazing.
Yeah, well, Talon played it in 4 hours yesterday, and more about it, so I need to buy it and play it soon.
It's actually the only reason I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Going like way off topic here, but
what's that?
Topic. Because people have said they play through it in 2 hours, and I'm forking out $20 for this game. I mean, as a reward ratio, it's not brilliant, but it still looks like exactly the kind of game that would scratch my my like exploration investigation itch. And there haven't been many games like that for a long time.
No, I've heard really good things about it, but I have also heard that you're not getting a lot of hours of playtime for your dollars, and how is it worth it because it's more art and blah blah blah. So
it's worth it because it's the cost of a movie ticket.
Yeah, fair.
You go to expensive movie theaters.
I live in the Bay Area. It's expensive down here. Maybe it's not quite. It's a little bit more, but if the game takes me 4 hours to get through, and I pay $15, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally
fair. I don't know. It's not like MMO cheap, right? Like I think the group of us is used to the or Saints Row, like 40, 60 hours of gameplay for your $50 or $40 or 60. Yeah, it's not one of those games, but I am also willing to sort of spend money at these kinds of games just so that they are successful and more people play them. I played Journey last year, and Journey was maybe 3 hours. You could play it again, and there was some value in replaying it, but actually a lot of value in replaying it. But it was still about 3 hours long for the experience.
You're deliberately making me feel like a jerk for not not buying this game.
You're an indie developer now. Yes, you should feel like a jerk. Except for you're an indie developer, and that I don't think that is the big time money situation.
We're not in money fight situation quite yet.
All right, I'll buy it. Fine. Can somebody? No. Oh no.
Sorry. No, please go ahead.
I was just kind of mentally wishing for somebody to do a let's play of it, and then I won't have to pay my $20. But
I'm sure that has happened already.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure it has. No, that's not why people play let's plays. They don't watch it so they don't spend money on games. Game publishers. That is not why.
Okay.
Little tiny bit why. Final Fantasy XIV, to go back. I think it helps a lot if you're a fan of the world, you know, because you get to ride your chocobo around and be like, I'm awesome, I'm an actual character.
Are you a fan of the worlds now that you've played part of Final Fantasy VII?
You know, I am, and I started playing Final Fantasy VI at the same time, and Chrono Trigger, so, yeah.
How do you even remember which character is which?
I don't. No. No, it takes me like 10 minutes every time I start up the game to be like, where am I? Which skill is this? I don't know. But no, it's really, really pretty, and the character creator is really, really thorough.
That's cool.
And it's a lot of fun.
A good character creator matters a lot to me, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I get turned off quickly if the game sucks to make a character, and I don't know. It's one of those things that if it's the first thing that you're presented, and if it kind of sucks, then like I'm just so much less interested, even if your game is fun in the end.
Oh, it's totally true. Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV has like the tail size slider, which is
Okay. That's good. That's important.
Yeah. It's important.
Or you might want a panda tail, or you might want a fox tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's tail type and tail size, so you can get really specific about your tail.
Do you have a tail?
Not that I made a cat girl.
You totally have a tail.
I did. I made a cat girl. I did. It's Final Fantasy. Come on. I run around as a cat girl archer.
Final Fantasy was always about the like craziest hair characters in the game, not about the, like, weird cat girls for me.
Yes. Yes, yeah, with the spiky hair. I am level 3, like halfway through level 3 right now. And the levels, I mean, you know, it's the early levels, so they go fairly quickly, but not like wow quickly. And I have not yet had to draw my weapon at any time. Because I just run around the city and do errands for innkeepers. And I'm assuming eventually it's going to spit me out somewhere where I get to shoot something. But no, so far I've just like, I collect things and I run bread to people, and I assume there's combat, so we'll see.
So it's like you're playing a Final Fantasy game.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, soon I'll have to do like squats or something. I don't know. So yeah, a lot of it's going to be how is the combat, because that's going to matter a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the other big game that came out last week was, of course, Saints Row 4, and it's awesome. Mangle, I know you've been playing it. What do you think?
Okay, so my caveat is I have never played any of the other Saints Row games before this one. I own I own 2 of those 3. I own Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 3, but I picked them up in some of these crazy humble bundles or whatever, and so I've never actually installed and played them. So
you're
Saints
in for a treat.
Yeah. Saints Row 4, with no background at all on the characters, it really wasn't what I was expecting. But it's, oh man, I mean, I don't want to give away too many spoilers. I think we're not giving away spoilers, yeah?
Yeah, we'll stay away from the spoilers.
Yeah, okay. But after the first intro scene, like I have never before, when playing a game like that, just sat back in my chair and like laughed so loud. I mean, it was really, really well done. The character creation, Elly, you would love it. Although actually, for me, it's kind of a bit almost tedious actually, because there are so many combinations of things that you can change that I just got bored halfway through. And
yeah, that happened to me in Mass Effect. Honestly, it has an awesome character creator, Mass Effect.
Yeah.
The whole series, and my Shepherd is very, very similar to the default one, because I was like, oh god, so many options, just go to the default and tweak.
Yeah. That's what I did. I mean, it's like crazy. Although, once you get to the kind of broader strokes on the character creation, like hairstyles and that kind of thing, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I got this hillbilly guy with like a Billy Ray Cyrus from early 90s era mullet.
Nice.
And mutton chops coming around here. He's looking good.
Nice.
And it seems like pretty much every aspect of the game. I mean, maybe for you guys who are familiar with Saints Row franchise more so than me, maybe this is typical, but the outfits, the cars, everything is like infinitely customizable. So that was cool.
Yeah, and I
can
noticed
change after the fact, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All of
And
it?
in 4, you can even customize your weapons.
Yeah.
Which was put skins on them and stuff, which is crazy.
Yeah, I've got this great blue plaid shotgun, which just looks amazing.
Awesome. Have you tried the dubstep gun yet?
I have not. Yeah, so I haven't actually gotten that far through the gameplay. I don't want to give away too much of it, but I've only kind of played through to the point where he's out of the initial world where he is when it first starts.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not very far along in the game. Although, like, I've put 5 hours into the game, but I think at least 3 hours of that was customizing things. So only about 2 hours into the actual gameplay.
Right.
Yeah, I would say very, very, very good so far. I'm really enjoying it. I love the sense of humor.
Yeah, and if you like that, definitely play 3. My understanding, I haven't played 1 or 2, is that they're serious, whereas
Right.
3 kind of went off the rails, and 4 is just got that train and it's going with it.
He's kind of the narrator. Sorry, Elly. The narrator kind of alludes to that a little bit during some parts of Saints Row 4, where he kind of talks about how the Saints weren't quite sure which direction they were going to go, and whether they should keep on going down the kind of serious gangster path that they were going, or whether they should just kind of blow it all up and go completely off the rails and go crazy. And so obviously with 3 and 4 they took that second path, and it seems to have worked very well for them. The internet's really liked them.
Yeah, I think it's a nice sort of counterpoint to the Grand Theft Auto games, because, I mean, you can't, if you're doing a driving, shooting sandbox game, Grand Theft Auto is clearly the way to go. So this really, the Saints Row, the 3 and 4 really take it in a whole new direction and are not very serious, whereas Grand Theft Auto seems to get more and more serious. So, no, I'm really enjoying it, and as someone who played 3 and one of the few games I've actually finished, it's a lot of fun to see all these old characters come back.
Yeah, I was curious. So all these people that I'm seeing in the 4th one are characters that have carried over from the others?
They are, yeah. They're all characters that have carried over, so they all have their own histories and whatever.
Yeah. My biggest regret so far is actually I should have chosen a female avatar for the boss of the Saints, because I didn't realize until I got further into the game that the wardrobe options for the females are way, way better. Like,
oh, are they?
Oh, well, it seemed that way to me. So, and no, maybe I'm just looking at this from the wrong point of view. But if I go into the wardrobe shop and I go to, say, shoes, for example, probably half of those shoes are different types of heels, which I grant you, my guy would look fantastic running around.
Especially a hillbilly dude, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So maybe I'm just looking at it the wrong way.
Right. Well, exactly. And that's one of the great things about Saints Row, which we've talked about in the past with Arrow. But you can do that, and you can be a woman, and my understanding is you can have same-sex relationships in Saints Row 4, although I haven't gotten to that point yet. And, it's just totally off the rails, no holds barred, without being offensive, or... well, okay, I don't want to say without being offensive, but you know what I mean, without picking on anyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's offensive in the sort of self-aware, like, parody way, rather than in the straight-up, I'm here...
Yeah.
Rather than in the I'm trying to offend you way, or in the, I'm oblivious and therefore I'm offending you. Both of which are far worse than, like, I mean, I guess the sort of, I'll compare it to Cards Against Humanity, which can be very offensive, and intentionally so, right? But the thing is that is fairly offensive to everyone, I think. I think. I mean, I don't know. In my experience, and to be fair, I haven't played it with wide varieties of people. But I think everybody sort of, as long as it's poking fun at everybody in a way that is humorous, and I think that they have held up the humor end of it more than the offensive end of it.
And it's not. It doesn't pick on anyone. There's no,
exactly.
And I know as someone who can be kind of sensitive to that sort of thing, I mean, Shandi's freaking stacked, and that's cool. I mean, everyone's kind of equally got their thing.
Well,
I don't
there's
know.
a package slider, right? So it helps.
There is a package slider, yeah. And,
the package slider is over 9,000.
And I'm playing, a short, angry French ex-mobster lady, and that's fine. They're told, like, you're the president now. Good on ya.
Yeah.
So, that flexibility.
Screw the Constitution. It's fine.
I know. I was playing with Vajra, and he's playing like a British thug, and I'm playing a French ex-con, and it's like, how did we get to be co-presidents? I don't know, but...
Yeah. I'm playing the British thug as well. It's very fun.
Yeah, I went back in Saints Row the third, after having played it for an hour or two, and I was like, I need to go be a British thug. I think my guy's a British thug too. It was either that or like the crazy Russian lady.
Yes.
Those were like my two. One of those two clearly has to be Liore of the Saints.
Yeah, I actually thought my character was a crazy Russian lady, but once I started playing her, she turned out to be French. So crazy French lady works.
Close enough.
Yeah. And the game does have the same irreverent, your job is to blow all the crap up that you can in the next 90 seconds. And I'm like, on it!
Yeah.
Very, very early in the game, they give you a rocket launcher with unlimited ammo, and I'm like,
So one of the few criticisms I've heard is actually that you are sort of too powerful, and therefore, like, the weapons don't matter as much, and the cars don't matter as much. And just traveling is like, it's just always easier to like Superman fly or sprint, where you're going. Do you find that at all?
I have not gotten to the point where I have those superpowers yet, but I think that will probably be the case. Yeah, and then I just won't even, like, why hijack a car if I can just fly somewhere?
Yeah, for me, the first time that I bothered to get into a car was when the game tutorial was trying to teach me how to recustomize my car. And so I was like, okay, guess I better get into a car then. But otherwise, I'd just been running everywhere with my super speed because it was easier. And when you're in that Superman mode, I'm giving spoilers away, but you can...
I feel like that was all given away in the, like, trailers and stuff.
That's not too bad, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just easier to get around by running and jumping over everything than it is to bother, getting into a car. Driving a car around is actually a bit of a pain in the backside.
Yeah, I guess the other thing was that I've heard a couple people say that either the side missions are almost too fun, and so they don't really want to spend. They don't find themselves doing the story missions. They've spent 8 or 10 hours and have done like 4 story missions.
Yeah.
I'm pretty okay with that. I have no problem. This is too fun. No, I'm pretty good. And co-op too, the side missions are crazy fun.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of, show down with your friends over who can be hit by the most cars or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the fact that it is a full-on co-op game.
It is. Go ahead.
I'm taking our conversation back like 5 minutes, but to your point about the game not offending too many people, I was thinking while I was playing it, there's 2 games that it reminds me a lot of. One of them was Grand Theft Auto, of course, but the other one in the style a little bit was Duke Nukem Forever, which I accidentally bought a few years ago. Thinking that it was going to be a great game because I was deluded and they had been brainwashing me for 10 years before that.
I mean, in the same way, lots of people love that game.
I
didn't, but lots of other people did.
Look, Duke Nukem 3D is a great game.
It is.
Oh, it was.
Especially when I was 13.
But Duke Nukem Forever, similar. It just walks the wrong side of the line. Where Saints Row 4, I think it walks the right side of the line, where it's offensive, but it's kind of offensive to everybody, and you can play it in your own way. Duke Nukem Forever was walking very much the wrong side of that line, and I just stopped playing it after a while because it was kind of disgusting. So yeah. Anyway.
No, absolutely. It has that same irreverent sense of, it has that same irreverent sense of humor, which I think it's a great example of how You can have an irreverent sense of humor. You can have body jokes with the W. And you can not be the most horribly offensive game ever. It's a great example, because people often say, well, if we're nice to everybody, it's going to be humorless and dour art games. And here's an example of how that is not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty chaos. Well, it looks like I think we should probably move on to talking about what we have played in the last week. And we're going to start with Elly, because I know you played something this past weekend.
I have, and I am putting an image up on the stream for anybody that can see. I played a lot of Magic the Gathering over the last week or so. The Grand Prix Oakland, which is sort of like a pro tour qualifying event, just like a big, massive tournament. So it's actually probably still going on. I don't know when the finals were. I played in that. It's my first time playing in a Grand Prix. I've played like a few other tournaments in person and stuff. There were probably 1,700 people in the Oakland Convention Center. Lots of people from out of town, which I thought was pretty cool and a little bit unexpected. I mean, I knew there would be some because people who are into the Magic scene go to these things. They're announced, and there's not that many of the Grand Prix. This one was limited also, which is it was actually sealed. So you get a stack of 6 packs, and you open them and make it back. And that is a really easy format for everybody to get in. It's really inviting because you don't have to have your own deck. You just show up and play. And then the second day was they did drafts all day today, so same deal. So like there's no, there's a $40 registration fee or whatever, but there's no sort of upfront cost beyond that. I actually went with Kinch. I met Kinch there, and we played, and we picked up these totally awesome sleeves that I showed on the camera a second ago. I'm pretty sure it's the same little kitten from the Every Time You Masturbate God Killed a Kitten image.
That's the kitten.
It's that kitten.
It's the same kitten. It doesn't have the little gremlin dudes in the background, but it's the same kitten. Yeah, we found those. There was a vendor selling those sleeves, so we were, some of the few people who played with that, and I got comments every round. I did okay. I ended up 3-3, and then dropped out of the tournament. There's 9 rounds the first day, and basically they pick, everybody who has 2 losses or less gets to play on the second day, and maybe a few people who have 3. But I was not confident that I was going to go 3-0 the rest of the night, and I had been playing probably 14 hours of Magic almost in a row. Because I played on Friday night too. We went to a seminar. And then played in that thing for 4 hours or something. Went to bed at like 1:30, got up at 7:30, and played 7 hours of Magic.
So just to be clear, you did that, and then next weekend you're doing PAX.
That's right, and actually there's a big Magic tournament at PAX too. I don't think I'm gonna participate in that. I went to this one instead, so I'll do other stuff at PAX. Yeah, it was fun. I would totally go again. I would even travel to one potentially. They do them up and down the coast, and going for a weekend and just playing games with some friends is pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not the champion of Oakland. They're not sending me to Europe somewhere, so I'm a little bit sad about that.
There's always next.
Yeah, exactly.
Have either of you guys played the Hearthstone beta?
I have not. Nobody has given me a key yet. Somebody gave me a key.
Yeah, I'm signed up for it, and I read a really good blog post recently from somebody who is playing it. It sounds interesting, but I haven't played it yet.
No, Blizzard. You should. I actually talked to them on Twitter, and I'm like, you should give us a key to give away on our podcast, but I haven't heard back yet. But yeah. I've watched someone play it on a Let's Play, and it looks pretty fun. I have not done a collectible card game before in any concerted effort, but I think I might try playing that.
Mm-hmm.
You could also try Soulforge, which is a game that came out, I guess this last week or something. It started off as a Kickstarter. I mean, I was a Kickstarter backer at they were showing it off at PAX last year and stuff. Some of the designers are, well, at least one of the designers is Brian Kibler, who's a professional Magic. He's a Hall of Famer Magic guy, and he's also done Ascension, which is another deck building style game. This one is collectible. It's on Steam. It's on iOS. I don't know if it's on Android yet, but you can play cross-platform. Although I've heard the iOS one is a little bit sketchy. I don't know. It seems pretty fun. I played a lot during the betas. I haven't actually cracked any of the packs they gave me through the Kickstarter supporter yet because their servers, like every other set of servers that launches, is I don't want to lose actual money there. But they're doing cool free to play stuff where you can play for free and you just play like starter decks and stuff, and they're not very good compared to the other stuff. But every day you play, you get product as a reward for playing. They're just trying to get people to play, and they're going to do open tournaments and stuff. They're going to have weekends where you get access to all the cards for the weekend. So they're trying to suck you in. Like first one's free. Here's a taste. See if you like it. But that game's pretty fun. I mean, Hearthstone also seems like some people have said it's a lot of fun. And I think it is somewhat less complex.
Yeah. I think there's like a big opportunity because there are maybe 8 of us in our guild who were all talking about maybe a couple of months ago wanting to do a draft together, and just couldn't figure out any way to make that work easily with Magic the Gathering online. So, but we all really want to do it. We just don't want to play against strangers. We want to have a 8-person draft with each other.
We want to do the sit around the kitchen table Magic, and Magic Online does not really support that well.
Yeah. So if some of these other games are able to support that kind of multiplayer with friends, then I think they could do really well.
Yeah, I agree. So send us betas, people.
Yeah, I also started playing Magic Online, despite my best efforts not to. I used the excuse that I was preparing, practicing for this GP. But I don't know. I'm a little bit worried to put too much money into it. And there's ways to get most of your value back, but
that's
things that down that road madness lies.
Well, speaking of Hearthstone, Mangle, you talked about playing WoW. So anything else you've been playing in the last couple of weeks, or how's WoW going?
WoW's good. I was away for the first half of this week, so my usual gaming kind of schedule had to be adjusted a little. But while I was away, I was messing around on my iPad, and I was playing Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery quite a bit. And that is a good little game. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Recommended. I picked it up. I was lucky enough to pick it up for free because the Apple App Store were doing a promo a little while back. I'm not sure how much it costs normally, but I don't think it's more than $2.99.
Yeah, it's $2.99. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those games that's well worth paying the $2.99. It's a great little game.
I think it might be on Steam now too, isn't it?
Oh, very likely. Yeah, very likely. WoW is good. I got my first character to level 90 on Friday night, I think.
Oh, wow.
And my God, it's a grind. It really was, like after being away from it for so long and then coming back, it blew my mind that for at least the last 2 or 3 levels, I was just chasing around after quest givers, killing mobs, just grinding, trying to get to level 90. And it wasn't enjoyable. So, but then there's something to that psychology because then having got to level 90, I was really excited, and all I wanted to do was play more after my character hit level cap. So that was good. I've been doing because I was away for the first part of this week, our guild has been doing these little newbie instance runs, which I missed. So I had to make up Scarlet Monastery this week, and I pugged it. And took me 3 attempts to get through it with a pug, but eventually managed to
It's
do that.
unfortunate.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
this is all just to say that WoW really hasn't changed much from from last time I was playing it 2 years ago.
Yeah, we had our first wipe under my new healing care. You were in on that one, Liore. I can't remember if that was.
I think I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost bubble hearthed away, but I missed the button.
Bubble hearth, that is shame.
Nice.
I have been legit enjoying our WoW Mondays.
Yeah, me too. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's nice to go back and see the places and play classes that we haven't played before. And I mean, really, WoW was always about the social stuff. So this is it's been a nice little time to get together with everyone. Definitely.
Yeah, it was about the social stuff for a lot longer than it was about the mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there is a depth of mechanics there for sure, but it's, I don't know. Without people, I would definitely not have been where I was.
Yeah. No, it's about the critical mass, for sure. And we've definitely had that going with WoW. And I don't think we could have got that going with any other game. I think.
Or without Mangle. Thank you, Mangle.
Or without Mangle.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you, Mangle. Yay! No, it's been a super lot of fun, which I never thought I would say about playing WoW. So.
Yeah.
But my Liore is level 87, mostly from pet battles, and I totally know what you mean about the grind. I'm just.
Well, if you're doing mostly pet battles, what do you expect?
Well, come on, quests are boring.
They are.
The
They're
quests
boring.
are awesome.
Oh man.
Really? I'm only like 86. Ellyndrial is about 86 or 86 and a half. I enjoyed the quests. I don't know. I've always enjoyed the quests, and you know, I was an early lore master and stuff like that. It was always the thing that I always wanted to do was find out the story on some level.
Yeah. I think Kinch called me out on it a bit, and he was totally right, which is that in Pandaria, there are some really excellent quest lines that are quite interesting. But I think I hit a point around level 88 where I was in an area, and they were just sending me off killing 10 of those and collecting 12 of these, and it was just over and over again, and it just killed me. But I think now that I'm 90, there seem to be some more interesting quest lines again. So
I've heard there's a couple really cool reputation, like daily quest lines that are actually really interesting.
Oh man!
Unfortunately, they're tied to daily reputation quests.
Oh man! Like so many daily quests. It's amazing.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
So don't try to do all of your dailies at the same time. That was like one piece of advice I read about hitting level 90.
Yeah.
Like, just pick something, do it when you want, and then pick up the 1 or 2 backup ones and do them when you don't want to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll just kill yourself.
Yeah,
I am so bad about doing daily quests anyway, so.
Yeah, I have no desire to log in and do the same thing I just did yesterday.
No.
I mean, I'll do it a couple times. And I got Thorn Rep or whatever those Hodier.
Oh yeah.
And
oh yeah, those were fun though.
I actually like doing those too. A lot of people hated those, and I was like, I don't know why people hate it. Like the dragon fighting, like didn't you have to like fly on the dragon every day? I loved that quest.
Awesome.
That was awesome. That was so much fun. I don't know what was. I also like Bastion, so you people are all wrong if you don't like it.
Oh, I kind of like Bastion as well. Yeah.
But we were
I do
druids.
too.
We were druids that helped. I hear that druids like Bastion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No,
a good
it
point.
was nice. I have been playing Chrono Trigger. That is my.
How do you like it?
I love it. It's awesome. It is a lot harder to get into than as a JRPG newbie than Final Fantasy VII because there's no tutorials or anything. So I've had to call up friends who played it 20 years ago and be like, how do I get out of this box or whatever. But it's really good, and the story is legitimately good, which is kind of surprising me. So I'm really sad that I've only gotten into JRPGs a little while ago because they're totally right up my alley. I mean, you do some story, you do some, turn-based fighting, and then you do a little mini game, and it really suits what I like to do. So I'm enjoying it a lot, and on my Vita, which I'm also really enjoying a lot.
By the way, thank you, because your blog post caused my wife to give me preemptive shit about wanting a Vita.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, you can only have a Vita or a new iPad this year.
Oh, I feel like my work is done.
Yeah. I had never even considered getting a Vita until I read that, and then now you've got me researching it all over the place.
They're only $200 now.
Oh,
I know, they just dropped in price.
Wow.
I was never really considering a Vita or any of the PlayStation handhelds until I thought I might want a PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I will not be getting a PS4, but I really love the Vita. It's a lot of fun to sit. And it's mostly because I'm old and they have a lot of old games, really. So being able to
And you
go
didn't
back.
play any of them.
What?
And you didn't play any of them.
Right. But even the ones that I did play, to go back and sit down. I mean, I played through Parasite Eve back when I was like 19 or something. Don't calculate how old that makes me. And being able to sit down and do it now in this tiny little thing in my hand, it's just like technology.
Oh my God, you are turning old.
All right. Well, on that note, I think this podcast is over. Mangle, thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Elly, thank you as always for coming on, except for the crack about how old I am.
It won't be the last time.
I know. I think we're going to do a live show next week from PAX.
I'm planning on it. I'm bringing my microphone.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's good, because I have people coming with audio equipment.
You bring your microphone, and then we're good.
All right, sweet. So we will be live from PAX, from the hotel rooms of PAX next weekend, and we can talk about what we saw and what looks hot. I'm really excited. There's going to be a lot of really cool games there.
Mm-hmm.
What's your most exciting thing, real quick?
The guys who did Super Meat Boy and Binding of Isaac are going to be there with their new game, which is supposedly a cat lady simulator.
So, like real life.
Yeah, I saw that.
You get cats and you can breed them to make nicer cats.
Yeah.
You're preparing, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I am. Yeah, I'm absolutely just starting out now. So, yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that because their games have such awesome visual style and sense to them that I really feel that this could be a fun game.
Yeah, that's a great answer. That game does look like it could be really cool.
Yeah. There's so many really good indie games this year. I'm going to spend a lot of time there.
I'm going to play with consoles.
Oh, yeah.
This will be my first time to get my hands on a console, and I don't know. I like where the Xbox is after they've backed off of everything, but I still sort of think I will end up with PlayStation.
Well, they have a launch date for it at least. I don't think they have that for the Xbox yet, right?
No, I think they're waiting so they can come out like one day before the PS4.
I don't think they're going to make it. November 15th is pretty close.
It is getting close.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. It'll be fun to get hands on. Well, we will do live next week, and I will publish where we'll be and when and whatnot. And until then, you can check us out online at lioreblog.com/catcontextpodcast, or just go to lioreblog.com and click on podcast in the main menu. And we're on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube now and Facebook and Twitter. We're everywhere. So
we are on Facebook, aren't we?
We are. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're on. Although Mangle's really good about clicking like on things, so thank you.
I did it too. Whatever.
Sorry. So yeah, we're all around there. So we will be back next week to talk about PAX stuff. And until then, have fun and keep on gaming. Bye.